G'day everyone, Matt from Panda Garage here today. Bit of a different video. Didn't really have much on at the moment. We're a bit quiet here in the garage after all the chaos of this year. But after stepping on a roach this week, I thought, you know what, I haven't done this and I said I was going to do it for a while. What I thought I'd do is I'd actually sit down and pull out everything that Supercheap sent me over the last couple of years and talk about how it's going at the moment, the longevity of things, if you will. Don't know if there's many videos out there about sort of like other than initial reviews, including myself, about the products that Supercheap Auto make or sell. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to sit down today. I've got 6 items here. There's the 6 items that they've sent me. The last one that came in, I think, it might have been the vacuum and the toolkit here, the 198 piece. So I've had them for at least nearly a year, so about 11 months. And so what we're going to do today here on Panda Garage, I'm going to sit down and we're going to review it, how they've been going. So some of these range from 11 months to about 2 years. So let's get stuck right into it. Okay, so I thought I'd start on the oldest product we have, or one of the oldest products we have, and it's the 3,000 kilo jack. Now, I did a review on this probably about 2 years ago maybe, and it has been flawless. That's the only way I can describe it. It's looking a little bit worse for wear. The rubber has started to split, but I've literally used this on every single car that's been in the garage. I've even used it on neighbours' cars when they've had flat tyres. It just gets the job done every single time. I've really loved it. And this is just, this is no way endorsed by Supercheap Auto, what this video is today. I just wanted to go through and sort of show you guys the longevity of products that I've been using. So this gets used all the time. The only thing I think it has is there's a little bit of a grease leak just at the back here, but I don't know if it's just from the dust collecting on it. There's been no leaks or like little puddles, but this thing gets used all the time. So I've actually lost the bolt, but you see this pop up in all my videos. Can't fault it. Definitely worth the money if you guys are looking for a solid jack. I mean, it's probably overkill for what I do, but it gets the job. It literally jacks up a car in probably like 3 or 4 seconds so easily, and it can take the weight. I mean, it's bad, but I actually jacked up a car on the grass the other day. We had a flat tire on one of our cars and we couldn't move it because it was really bad, and I took this out there because it's got the flat base on it. It sort of distributed the weight perfectly, got the car up, switched the tires over, had it only up in the air for a few minutes and then back down, and it was fantastic. So definitely worth the money, and you can't go wrong with that. Right, so next up here is the actual buffing wheel, polishing wheel. I can't remember the exact details on it. I'll definitely put them up on the screen right now. But as you can see, this thing is used. Very used. Now, I remember at the time when I said, like, this is pretty much the Pro End model, so it's not a orbital polisher. It actually it is just straightforward, has all the power settings at the back, like speeds. It has been fantastic. As you would have seen in one of the last videos that went up, the Jeep, I use this to use the wax coat, and the car, especially in person, looks so nice. I'm so happy how that car came up, and it's all thanks to this. I've learnt over the last couple of years about using this better. I think early on I was a bit green when it came to polishing wheels. I probably should have gone for one a little bit lower. So if it's definitely your first time, if you're willing to put in the time to learn, it's fantastic. It's a great polisher. Had no issues with it. Hasn't broken. No parts have come off it. It does the job really well. The display things are relatively cheap for what they are, and I've actually been learning how to wash them out properly and clean them up, and I've got 2 sets of them and I've been using them on all the cars and they work really well. So polishing wheel, it's been a real success. Yeah, you definitely don't want to be new to polishing with a wheel. because this thing can actually burn paint, which I actually did do at one point. I don't think I showed it on camera, but when I painted the Vector, I went to buff it with the wheel, and I actually ripped part of the paint off. So yeah, definitely don't want to do that. All right, next up, biggest thing in the room. This was Super Cheap Auto's. I think it was a 27-inch Workbench. What I really liked when I saw this pop up in the magazine before Super Cheap and I sort of worked out a deal to get it down here to Victoria. This was brand new at the time, so I was one of the first people to review it. The video, it's a little bit dark at the time, but the channel, I mean, I've got working lights now, which is awesome. But I saw this and I'm like, this would be perfect for the garage, and it really has been. It is a good combination of having the shelving at the top, which you can see is completely chockers with all my cleaning products and polishing products and all excess bits and pieces. I can store all my oil on top of it, but as you can see, I've got a lot of overflow on the bench. Now, I've used handrails to put bottles. This is a great size for a sort of a garage if you want to put all your tools in one place. This has saved me having all these containers full of random bits and pieces. I've got all my cloths in here, I've got all my tools, extra parts. The whole top drawer is just miscellaneous tools, and I love it. It's been fantastic, but it is a little bit small for me now, especially as the channel's growing and I'm trying to do more things. I definitely need another toolbox, but as a first timer, if you want your basic toolkit, this is actually really good. I'm not too sure if they still sell these. I hope they still do, because they're actually been really well. Any negatives? I lost the keys to it, and I had locked it at the time, and so that was a pain. But I did learn to how to pick a lock, and these unlock pretty easily, which is good or bad, I guess. Some of the parts that come with it probably aren't really necessary. Like this is a roll holder thing, but most people have them in boxes or just rags. So I've just been using them to hold like rolls of tape, and probably the only other thing is maybe the drawers are a little bit shallow. Probably could be better, but this is sort of the sort of beginner's sort of toolbox. You can get bigger ones, of course. So can't fault it. Hasn't broken. Nothing's bent on it. It's held up really well. I move it around regularly, but most of the time it spends its life in the corner with all my other tools and that. And yeah, other than like maybe needing a bit of storage, but that's a personal preference at this point. So this has been really good too. Okay, next on the list is my creeper. Now this creeper's actually been pretty good, but I think the only complaint I've had about this is maybe it's a bit too high. A lot of my cars at the time, the Monaro and the Cruise, incredibly hard to get under it with this, so most of the time I just use it as a seat pretty much. Worked alright on the Jeep, and on their new car as well, probably work well, but unless you're willing to jack your car up really high, this is probably not for you. In terms of like build quality, it's been really good. I did chip it, the paint a little bit, so I mean it is prone to getting scratches pretty easily. I did spill oil on it at one point, and the vinyl's actually held up really well. And yeah, it's been really good. Yeah, probably just the height. If it had wheels maybe on the side to lower it right to the ground, it'd probably do really well. But yeah, aiming to use it more, and because it is hard getting up and down out of the car underneath it, especially on concrete when it's like winter, which always seems to be here. But especially everything goes wrong in winter, it seems. So the creeper, been really good. I do need to use it more, but yeah, other than a few little niggles, it's actually pretty good quality. So this was probably one of the last items I got. I haven't done any reviews for Super Cheap since the start of the year, or at least had stuff sent out. Just a whole lot of mixture between getting the videos out, just not having the ability or the time to do it, so I thought it'd be unfair to ask for anything else from Super Cheap or them to send me anything while I was working that out. Also, having all the incidents with the cars, I've just had no time. Now it's we've got the time back again. I'll probably see if they want to still collaborate on doing reviews, but this is probably my favourite thing I've ever been sent by Super Cheap Auto. This is the 32 litre ToolPRO wet dry vac, and this thing hands down is probably the best vacuum I've ever had. Not just as a shop vac. This has been our house vacuum for the last 11 months, and it does the job every single time. I empty this bag out. It's on its second bag since January. So we're 10 months in. We're in October now. It's 10 months into the year. This is on its second bag and only just went in maybe 2 months ago. So it literally had a bag in it for 8 months. Does a whole house, like a 4-bedroom house for my family, and it's unstoppable, this thing. Like, it does brilliant jobs at cleaning cars. The little wheel things that they sent out, the little care package thing with all the extra bells and whistles. Like, hands down, if you're looking for a vacuum that can do the house, do the car, and then if you've got a spillage somewhere and you need to vacuum it up wet, this thing does everything. It's bulky, but it does so well, and I've been so impressed by this. Like, this is probably my favourite item because I use it all the time. You can see it's all dinged up. It's got all polish all over it from when I was doing the Jeep. But I use it constantly, at least a couple of times a week. The house gets vacuumed once a week, of course, or sometimes more. And this vacuum just does the job. Even blowing stuff, you change it to the blower feature, and I can blow all the leaves out from underneath the bonnet. Gets to those hard to reach places. Fantastic. Like, this has been my favourite thing. I could not recommend this enough. And like, if you told me to go in and buy, the first thing I go in there and buy new is one of these. It's like, the plastic's held up well. It's sturdy. It's just done a brilliant job. Now, the downsides to this. Now, the downsides. One of them is not their fault, it's actually mine, or at least whoever's vacuuming at the time, is that the piping is probably not that strong. It's a bit weak, but my dog has managed to get a hold of this at one time or another. He's only like a little fox terrier, hates the vacuum cleaner, he's the only person that hates it, and he has pierced it a few times on the wiring, and also this, it's pretty much straight through. So that's not their fault at all, that's on me. So yeah, it's a bit of a pain. But I think the only downside to this vacuum, if you're looking to use it as a house vacuum, if you've got an old vacuum handle, like the actual nozzle and stuff, use that instead. These ones that it comes with aren't the best. They're just really thin plastic, and the head is quite, it doesn't get good suction either. I don't use these at all, pretty much. I've just put it there just to get out of the way. It's also just to sort of show you guys it. But the piping, it's a bit bendy. It's not the best, but if you have like a metal one at home, that's what we use, and it does a great job, so it's a good compensation for this. But that's the only part that's like not great. Everything, all the other head pieces, everything's been working well. Just trying to see if I've got them all here. The little care package we've got had all like the little power head and stuff like that, great for getting up dog hair. But this, couldn't recommend this enough. So I've had this now, been using it pretty much for like 10-11 months, and yeah, can't fault it. So if you definitely need a vacuum for home, or you want to justify buying it, and your wife wants to buy a new vacuum, go for this, because it definitely is worth it. It rolls around so easily. My mother-in-law uses it and she's perfectly fine with it. She's happy with it. Does an excellent job, great suction. And yeah, definitely worthwhile. Can't recommend that one enough. Alright, so my final piece is here. This is, I think it's a 198 piece toolkit. This was the last item I think I reviewed for the channel, and it has been fantastic. I've used this pretty much weekly. As you can see, it's pretty scuffed up. It travels with me everywhere pretty much. And as you can tell, because it's been laying everywhere, it's everything's fallen all over the joint. So this whole kit is fantastic. The main reason I originally got this kit was actually to get a breaker bar, and Super Cheap were like, well, have a look at this set, and this set is fantastic. You don't realise how many of these pieces you need until you need them. And as you can see, a lot of the chrome's all right, but you can tell by the handles of some of these pliers they've been used pretty well. Same as the actual what do you call them? The old mates. I can't even remember at this point. They're basically to get your lug nuts off, or your nuts off your wheels. And they're great because they don't scratch. They don't scratch up your paint. They don't scratch up the alloy. They're fantastic. I love them, and using them in combination with the breaker bar, it works so well. And some of these bigger nut sets, like these sockets, I've used so many of these bigger ones as I'm getting sort of playing around with more different cars. A lot of them aren't as straightforward as they used to be, so you do need some of these bigger sockets, especially like removing like those plastic versions of the oil filters where they're actually inside a cylinder, not actually physically the oil filter in a metal tin. And the kit does everything, and it has all these parts I haven't even had a chance to use yet because I don't have these type of drills, but that's for an impact driver. You can use these with sort of a torque wrench, like what do you call them? Torque impact gun, those ones. The rattle gun? Ratchet gun? Whatever they're called. I'm sure everyone in the comment section will be encyclopedias and will be able to tell me exactly why I've said it wrong and how I've said it wrong. So it's just bits everywhere. It's been in the back of my car, so it goes everywhere with me. I use it all the time in the garage, use it out on the road, use it at the wreckers all the time. Yeah, it's been fantastic. So if you're looking for a good kit, solid kit with plenty of the parts in it, get one of these because they're great. All the parts are lifetime guaranteed as well, and you just get a good set of stuff here, so you can't go wrong. And yeah, if anything does break, yeah, you can get it replaced. I think the only downside on this, as I'm pouring each thing out, probably not the best thing, is just the brackets. They're steel brackets, but they're aluminium, and they do bend out of shape sometimes if you accidentally knock them. And a lot of these things just don't hold in place, but it's just all basic, like little stick. I'm really nitpicking at this point to find something, but yeah, that's the set. And yeah, if you're looking at getting one of those, check out the video. I might link them all somewhere, or just look it up on the channel and you'll see a full review of it. Okay guys, that is it for today. Hopefully you enjoyed this little update. So this is all between 10, 11 months to about 2+ years of use. Everything here gets used really often, maybe other than the creeper. I don't get to use that as often, but I'm going to try and make a note to use it more. But I use pretty much these every couple of days, at least once a week, twice a week. I'm always doing stuff out here, always helping out friends or fixing my own stuff. But if you want to check out any of these products, check out the videos on my channel. Just go onto the channel and look up all the reviews and you'll find them on there, and you'll find the links to the actual product as well. So even though it's not even though they didn't send me anything, I'd like to thank Super Cheap Auto for allowing me to be able to review some of their products. They approached me years ago asking if I wanted to do something with them, and it's been great. So I'll definitely be in contact again now that all our Chaos cars have gone. I have a bit more time to focus and do a good job and get better as the channel grows and do more reviews. So hopefully that goes into fruition. Thank you all so much for watching. Check us out on Instagram and Facebook, the Panda Garage. I usually update you guys when there's new videos up, or if you want to see cool pictures or dumb things I've seen, like this week where I saw a car that had one of the worst spray jobs of all time. If you can guess go on the Facebook page, the Panda Garage, look up at the picture, leave your comment below the picture, tell me what suburb of Melbourne that is from, and if you can get it right, I'll give you a shout out, your Instagram handle or whatever you would like in the next video. So until next time guys, my name's Matt, it's been Panda Garage, and I'll see you all next time.